If you've never finished up a manga page before, then by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it. I'm not just going to explain it. I'm going to actually walk you through the entire process that I use step by step. You see, most artists get stuck because they're trying to do too much all at once. Full chapters, full stories. We're not doing that. We're finishing one page. So, step 1. Start with a simple idea. Not a whole story, just a moment. A character walking, a conversation, a punch. That's it. Using that exact framework, I decided to write the idea I had in my head so I could set myself up for success. The idea I had was simple. A teenager is walking and talking on the phone, a zombie appears, he punches it out cold, and then continues what he was doing. Step 2. It's time to break that idea into panels. These are rough panel layouts, so don't worry about the detail. Just figure out what happens in each box. A lot of artists I've talked to seem overwhelmed by this part specifically. They don't know how or what type of panel layout to use when drawing the thumbnails. So here's some advice. Mimic what you read. I've been reading Japanese manga and American comics for a while now and have internalized several different panel layouts to the point where when I think of a page, I know what would make the most sense when laying it out myself. Now, if for whatever reason you can't mimic what you've read before, then my next piece of advice, which actually may help you more, would be to think of the reading flow. You want the reader's eyes to start from the top left and end on the bottom right. Ask yourself, how am I going to lead them there? And the answer to that question will be what you will draw for your thumbnail. This is where most people mess up. They skip this step. Thumbnails are very important. You're literally creating a blueprint for what you want to draw. Step 3. It's time to sketch everything out. Characters, poses, expressions, but keep it loose. If you try to make this perfect, you won't finish it. Now, when I draw my comics, including the page you see on screen, I tend to do them digitally. One benefit of doing them digitally is that after my thumbnails are complete, I can just enlarge it and use it as a base to sketch over. When I draw thumbnails traditionally, I used to just use them as a guide and draw on a larger sheet of paper and sketch out or pencil what I needed to on the larger page, so when I'm finished, I can start inking it right after. However, if you're a traditional artist, I would suggest scanning your thumbnails and printing them out after enlarging them so you don't have to create a base sketch for every page and waste time. Drawing manga or comics professionally means you have to optimize your time efficiently. So if you can save a few hours or more by not redrawing a base under your pencils, then you're ahead of the game. Step 4. It's time to go over it and clean it up. More specifically, it's when you start inking it. And this is where it starts to look like an actual manga page. Now, what I normally do, especially if the comic I'm working on is more than one page, is break up my workload into sections. First, I ink all of the people. I make sure to focus on every moving creature and ink them all no matter how many are on the page. My main focus is to make them look cool. Luckily, for this page, I only had the teenager and the zombie to worry about. But if there were a crowd of people, I would be focusing on each person, making sure they all had a distinct look or outfit on. After finishing the inks for the people, the second thing I focus on are the backgrounds. I make sure that the perspective is as correct as I can make it, and then I make sure that the detail I'm adding to every part of the background is rendered correctly. For this image, since it was more of an action scene, I just had to make sure to draw hints of the background for the panels that were dominated by speed and focus lines. Step 5. This is another place where a lot of people tend to fail. They don't stop. A finished page is better than a perfect one. Once I'm finished inking the people, the backgrounds, and adding the speed and focus lines, I add tones. That's the final step regarding the actual artwork for the page. There might be something I have to fix, but if there isn't, I tend to just make sure to add word balloons and that they are placed where they need to be in order to help lead the reader's eye better. Then I add sound effects and voila, that looks finished to me. This is how you build a manga. Not by thinking about it, and not by planning everything out forever, but by finishing pages over and over again. This is the final product. Like I laid out at the beginning of this video, it's about a teenager walking and talking on the phone. A zombie suddenly appears in front of him, which was really fun to draw, by the way. And then the teenager punches him out cold. I figured it would be funny to have him still on the phone as if this was a normal occurrence, but after the hit, he just continues on his way. And voila, a finished manga page. If you want me to guide you through this entire process, story, structure, pages, everything, I go way deeper into this in the courses on my Patreon. That's where I actually help artists finish their comic. And if you want to know why you never finish your comic and how to fix that, then check out this video here.